Hey guys, Vailnite here. I put this together because a couple of you expressed interest in running a second group during the week, and because the lockout system won't let me attend 2 mythic runs in a single week, I thought it might be helpful to explain how I usually approach tanking Zoth with our little team. First thing to keep in mind is going to be the markers that we use. We're going to start on X, we're going to move clockwise to Moon. When you come back up from Psychus, you're going to stack on Star, you're going to move counterclockwise to Square, and then counterclockwise back to Moon. Group 2 comes up from Psychus, you stack on Diamond, and lastly circles the gateway into the secret phase. Two Basher Tentacles spawn. Make sure you communicate with your co-tank as to who's taking what. Both of you need to pick up one. And you have to make sure you stay on these guys till they die, because otherwise they do this big AoE thing which gradually ramps up and hurts the whole raid. Avoid the DPS and healers when Paranoia comes out. That's the thing with the purple lines that links them together. Here I'm just killing time. So what you want to use this time for is resource generation. In my case, I'm building up RP and stack some Bone Shield. Second set of Bashers spawn. Tank 1 takes the closest one because you're going to be going into the portal first. Tank 2 takes the furthest one because they're going to be going into the second mine gate. Group 1 and 3 go down first. Mine gate is on Moon. So this is the route I take with Psychus, and as a 50 tank, guiding the raid through this may be the most pivotal contribution you can make to the raid's success. Run to about the 6 o'clock position just underneath the center or where N'Zoth was. You want to make sure the tentacles die near Psychus, because each time a tentacle dies near Psychus, he gets stacking debuff. Ideally you want to kill Psychus around 4 stacks of the debuff. Each stack will increase the amount of damage Psychus takes. Avoid the red and orange swirls. They will cause you to become disoriented, at which point, if that happens, Psychus will run around and he will acquire the next highest threat target on his list, which will probably be a DPS. You don't want that to happen. Don't get disoriented. Around the 4th tentacle, you're going to have to stop moving Psychus because he's going to start casting Creeping Anguish again. This should be the second and last time, assuming your DPS is on the mark. So just hold him there for a few seconds. Why here? Because you don't want the black stuff to cover your bodies. Once you got 4 stacks, you can DPS him down. If you have to go for 5, there is that one tentacle that's just to your right. Make sure you're communicating with somebody up top. You need to know when it's clear to come back up, because if it's not clear, you're going to come back up with the black stuff, and then you're going to lose lots of sanity. Once you're back up, the entire group is going to run over and stack on Star, and this is where we're going to recharge sanity. So now the cycle starts over, but this time the group that went down is going to be staying up. Again, 2 Bashers spawn. I'm getting the furthest one. You'll notice the eyeball casting Corrupted Mind in the background. You can't interrupt it. It really helps the healers. If you don't interrupt it, a debuff goes out on somebody on the raid and has to be dispelled. The longer you hold the tentacles, the more damage they gradually do to you. That last one got to about 8 stacks. Again, we're taking the furthest one, and the reason we're taking the furthest one is so that the co-tank, in this case Naui, can take the portal down with the 2nd and 4th group. Once that tentacle is down, we are going to run around to the far side of N'Zoth, where another Basher is going to spawn. We will kill this Basher, and then after this Basher dies, we get ready for Neurons and Paranoia. Both are going to happen at the same time. The Neurons appear as these little tumors on the ground, and the closer you bring their HP to 0, the less of a mess they make. In the meantime, you're dealing with the small adds, the psychophages, These ads spawn depending on how many tentacles are killed down below. These tentacles are the ones that are related to Psychus. Mind Grasp will either pull you toward the boss, or push you away from him toward the wall. In this case, he's trying to pull us toward him, so we want to get to the wall. Once that's done, you can give the group that's down below the all clear to come back up. And then we all stack up together on Diamond. Just like before when we're stacking on Star, some people are going to pop hearts, we're going to recover some sanity, and then we're going to move into the next phase, Convergence. As far as tanking goes, you've only got to worry about picking up these 2 ads that spawn. You need 5 people in the black swirls that they put down, assuming you don't DPS them in time, but at this point in the game's history, that should not be an issue. They should go down pretty fast. When he does Evoke Anguish, you get this purple swirl around you. You want to spread lightly, and the reason you want to spread lightly is because you drop some black stuff under you, and that black stuff will gradually expand the longer the fight goes on. At this point, N'Zoth has put his shield back up, so you can't really damage him much anymore, so we're going to run around him all the way to orange. That's where he's going to drop the gate, and this gate is going to lead us into the secret phase. Once inside the secret phase, there's going to be an ad there. As the tank, you're going to pick him up, or your co-tank is. In this particular case, Naui is picking him up. So once Naui gets the tanking debuff, I'm going to taunt off Naui and bring the boss away from Naui, who will run off to one side, hopefully away from the orbs that spawn. These orbs are actually bombs. They can be disarmed if you still have a Heart of Azeroth. So you can see I disarmed this one in the center here. Naui has the Event Horizon debuff, and that debuff is supposed to be healed off, but in this case, it doesn't look like anybody's around to do that. Naui stays behind and lets the debuff explode on top of him. Not ideal, but you also don't want to try to come back up while you still have the debuff. We kill this last group of Thought Harvesters, then we get back on the boss. There's nothing really left to tank here, just unload your DPS and try not to step on anybody's toes. Avoid beams, they will cause damage and fear you. Normally the beams come out in the previous phase, but we had such high DPS that we were actually able to skip them up until this point. And that's the entire fight. I hope somebody out there found this useful. We came a long way in a year's time. I'm thankful to each of our core members, past and present, that stuck it out.